So no one's finishing your audiobook. No one's finishing your podcast. Time to quit? No, time to reconsider. I'm John Gehring, voiceover artist and audiobook and podcast producer. And what I see oftentimes when people aren't finishing your content is usually one of three things. Number one, your narration or your content is just not interesting enough. It hooked them for some reason. You have a good idea. You're not talking about basket weaving, but once you start the conversation, it's either moving too slow or it's not exciting enough. In the case of a podcast, maybe you've spent too much time bantering back and forth with your guest about something totally unrelated. You didn't get to the point. In an audiobook, maybe your narration is dry, it's boring, it's like reading a grocery list. Nobody wants that. Number two, it's too long. Podcast episodes that just drag on and on and on and don't get straight to the point, like I said, they lose your listeners' interest. They lose focus. Podcast listeners are coming to your podcast not to hear the greatness of you speak, but they're coming to your podcast to gain some sort of value from your knowledge or experience or your guest's knowledge or experience. They're there for value. They're not there because you're some great superstar. And finally, number three, poor transitions. If you're a podcaster, you're moving from one part of the conversation to the next, but you don't have a smooth transition, you're actually signaling to the listener it's time to tune out. Likewise, if you just go to a commercial break at an inopportune time, like when a conversation has ended, listener might say, okay, that's enough, got the point. Instead, you want to keep that listener hooked, and you want to make sure that there's something of value for them on the other side of that break, on the other side of that transition that they have to stay for. So make your transitions smooth and keep them expecting more value as the episode or the piece of content rolls on.